This is the Lagos residence of ADEJIMI Adu ALAGBADO, the Ogaga of Ikere Kingdom in Ekiti State. Myself and my colleague, my name is Ibukun Awokushe. We are here to have his view about the just concluded election in Ekiti State. Apart from that, he will be speaking to us as a traditional ruler, the need to establish the idea of traditionality in the state. Many are of the opinion that there is a need to establish Isheshe Day. So we will be having the view of His Royal Majesty on the need to establish Isheshe Day and also other sundry issues which are of national importance. Join me as we interview the Oba, His Majesty.
As a traditional ruler, you know, I'm father to everybody. All political persons or politicians are under the umbrella of the kingdom, to which I'm the representative. There's no way one will not want his own son to, win the election. However, in Ikere we had, I think, 4 candidates for 4 different political parties. One for the PDP, one for Mega Party, one for Labour Party, and the third one, I can't really remember whether ADC or something like that. At the end of it, the APC, that is Dr. Fayemi, won the election. Well, what we do is we pray for peace. We pray for a government that will listen, that will be sympathetic to our people. We pray for a government that will bring development, and we believe there is no politician that will not want to make a mark. So we are hoping that the government that will come in will also meet that expectations. So the election has come and it has gone. We're just appealing to our people to sink their differences, and because God does not make mistake, so we are hopeful. Dr. Fayemi is not Fulani, he's an Ekiti son, and I can't see how you would now see the Ekiti land to Fulani herdsmen. I find it very hard to believe. I think it is just rumor. He is a cultured person. He had been in Ekiti before as a governor, so he knows, I believe, the feelings and the aspirations of our people. Nevertheless, like I said before, the Council of Traditional Rulers, we stand as advisors to government in respect of traditions, culture, and chieftaincies. And we are very close to our people who are farmers mostly. So I believe the council will also, meet with the governor and advise the decision that was made before. I think it will be tendered before him. I do believe every government will listen to its people and listen to advice. So I have no fear. I must tell you also that we have people who are indigenous, so to say, cattle rearers in Ekiti that have been living with us as against this itinerant herdsmen that our people have now referred to as Bororo. And you will also realize that in the past few months there have been reports of kidnapping, of raping, of destruction of farmsteads in Ekiti. You recall the incident of Iwaraja, Efonalaye, up to the Igero axis, where these people have gone through. They have also come to Ikere, my own kingdom, and we have reported that to the government. Therefore, I don't think any sane person will want destruction or ceding our land to these people. Ekiti, our occupation primarily is farming. Where they continue to destroy these farms, it means they are inviting farming. That's Inyo. Therefore, we will not, we can't take that. As I said before, the Council of Obas in Ekiti have taken a decision on that. If not for the election, we were to meet the governor to tender our proposal in respect of these people. Ekiti is not, we don't have that land. It's a thick forested area. It's not where you have grass. So if cattle should come there, the only thing they would destroy is the farm product, the plantation, what we have there, like we have witnessed in the past few months. So I do not believe that any government will want to do that to its own people. So we believe the incoming government will also listen to voice of reason and advice of these elders who feel the pulse of our people. So I'm hoping that will not happen in Ekiti. The problem of Nigeria is the common man. In Ekiti or in Yoruba land, even if you are not rich, you always think of your own integrity. Where people will go and sell their birthrights. It's very, very unlike us. So when you talk of vote buying, is it out of ignorance that people will not know what they want and they want to sell their own birthrights or their conscience? Or is it ignorance? So Nigeria has sunk so deep that we have lost our moral values, such that because of poverty, because of hunger, now a lot of things happen. And we will have to appeal to these politicians, because for me personally, I believe it's only God that can put somebody in a position of authority. So if you want to buy vote or you want to buy people's votes, I leave you between you and your God. So as a traditional ruler, we can only talk to our people that they should, think, have the fear of God, search their conscience. What do you want? Based on what the candidate put before you, what's your preference? What are your preferences? So we will continue to talk to our people. Yes, it's a terrible thing that, I think Nigerians generally, all together, we must rise against. I believe a lot of this problem is also on the table of the security men, where security men will just open and just watch things, things going, crimes being committed, and they do nothing. So what's the essence of the security men? So it's a collective responsibility. You can't blame, the politicians are striving to be in a position one way or the other, by a crook or by whatever. What of the people? What of the security people? There are laws. When people go against this thing, what happens? And there's been a lot of impunity. People do things as the law like, and they just get away with it. So it's not just about election. So much has been happening, and that's, really show the decadence in our society. The moral, I don't even know what to use for this. So generally, Nigerians, we have to decide. They say people get the kind of the leadership that they deserve. If it is selling our vote that we deserve, when that person gets there, whatever falls back to us, we have to bear it. By and large, I think people will get to use their senses. You take 1,000 today, for the next 4 years, you'll be spending that 1,000. Money that is supposed to be used for your children to have scholarship, for hospital to grow, you will be spending that. I think by and large, they say experience is the best teacher, right? So let's see how if our people can reason, because if somebody is buying votes, he is spending money. When he gets there, he's going to recoup that money. And it is your entitlement that you are using, you are taking to go and buy gari now. So, I hope our people can reason. In our own position, we continue to talk to our people, advise them, and that's all we can do. That is his saying. When you lose your culture and your tradition, you lose your identity. We are different from the Caucasian because of our uniqueness, and our uniqueness, it comes from our tradition and our culture. Every tribe, every race that God has created, it gives them their own culture. It is unfortunate that for one reason or the other, we've lost our way. We have taken the culture of other people. But there is a reawakening. As you can see, the Oni Arule Odua is going all over the world to propagate a revival, a renaissance of our culture, the Yoruba culture in particular. We have the best culture all over the world, anywhere. You go to Brazil, you go to the Caribbean, you see Yoruba, people of Yoruba descent practicing this thing. So, like you said, of course, the government or the government of Yoruba land, they are the governors or the ministers that come from there, the commissioners, they are Yoruba, who should appreciate our culture. I can't, go about now wearing suit and claiming to be a white man. I'm not. God did not make mistake in creating me and putting me in Yoruba land. And, there are these things that came out of our ways of life, which was given to us by God. We should not allow it to perish. So, for me, ever since I came on the throne, I, within my own limits, I've been trying to revive our culture, our tradition, which is, encapsulated, as you said, in Isheshe. Before Christianity came and Islam, we have our ways of worshiping God. There is only one God. And Yoruba believe, if you go through the Yoruba mythology, you will read even the equivalent of Jesus Christ, that is Orishanla, you will see all these things. So we have our way. We should not bury it. Every religion has its own bad people, good people. So our own culture, which is that Isheshe, should be promoted. And I'm one of the advocates of this thing because I don't want our culture to die. We are unique. We must continue to propagate that to see that it does not die. Today, a lot of countries in the world are speaking English. In some homes in Yoruba land, they forbid their children from speaking Yoruba. I mean, it's arrant nonsense. You can't be what you are not. God does not make mistake in creating you a Yoruba man. So for me, I support and I will continue to propagate, to support any effort and every effort to make sure to revive our culture. We are different. We are unique. We are Yoruba, created by God Almighty, the Olodumare. So in my own little way in Ikere, we have been doing that through the Odon Oba festival. And I believe so many Obas in Ekiti are doing that. As you know, actually in Yoruba, most Yoruba towns, the new yam, which is the harvesting of the new yam, is the beginning of a new season, a new year, and that is what we have been celebrating. Under our Odon Oba, you have so many other festivals like the Iduge, the Ogun Ogun proper, So many things. So we are promoting it in Ikere. I will hope that by the grace of God next year, I'm going to invite you people to cover our Odromba so that you can see part of our culture. And in doing this, let me also mention that we have what we call the Hall of Fame. It's more a mini museum in the palace where we are gathering our artifacts that represent our culture. So we're doing as much as we can to see that culture and our tradition is sustained. Every university that is in Yoruba land, admission into such university, a pass in Yoruba language must be a condition. for anybody that wants to enter, a child that wants to enter Yoruba, any university in Yoruba land. So it's not just an ordinary course. We are not English. The Japanese, they study, they do science through their own language. And you can see the advancement, you can see the progress in technology. Imagine if our physics, chemistry, biology are taught in Yoruba, which is our own tongue that God has created us with. You imagine how easy it will be for our children to take this in. So for me, it's just not just a course. To enter the university in Yoruba land, a child must be required to pass the Yoruba language if you are going to. So it's something that we need to sustain. And today, I don't know how many people are studying Yoruba as a course in the university. Those are the things that we need to sit down and look at. If the English are small, they are much smaller than the English. The population of the English people is less than that of Yoruba. So if they can propagate and spread their language all over the world, and by last count, I think Yoruba people all over the world, they come to about just a little bit less than 600 million people all over the world. So we have a platform on which we can build. So I will support any policy that can make it compulsory for who will be candidate for a university admission to pass Yoruba language.
The Oba of Ogaga, Ikere Kingdom of Ekiti, in person of Oba ADEJIMI ALAGBADO, and he spoke on just concluded election in Ekiti, the APC reaction and the PDP, and also he spoke about the Fulani herdsmen and the need for establishing recognizing this government to recognize the Isheshi Day as a major day for every traditionalist and Nigerians to recognize the traditional day, which is called Isheshi Day. And this and many more were its highlights during the course of the interview. My name is Ibukun Alkushe, reporting for Momentous National Maps.